Florida medical marijuana patients are outraged over unsolicited email praising Governor DeSantis's. That's right. Florida Department of Health recently sent an email to nearly 700,000 medical marijuana patient list praising Governor Ron Meatball DeSantis, who is opposing a proposal for adult use marijuana use for his achievements. The message, which praised initiatives like a cancer research program prompted by First Lady Casey DeSantis, and highlighted spending on health issues such as HIV, hepatitis, and syphilis, did not mention medical marijuana. Patients and advocates are outraged, claiming the DeSantis administration misused their contact information for political promotion. That is revolting. That is really such a misuse of power and information, said State Representative Kelly Skidmore, the ranking Democrat on the House Health Policy Committee. In a quote, she says, "I guarantee you nobody checked the box that said, yes, it's okay to send me this information on Governor DeSantis' agenda." The Department of Health defended the email, stating it was sent to all individuals in its databases, totaling over 2 million members of the public, healthcare professionals, licenses, and media. Spokeswoman Wessam Kohari criticized the media's focus on the email, arguing it's unfortunate that all has been decided to write a story about the inconvenience of an email rather than covering the key investments that will save countless lives. Advocates argue that the email is more than an inconvenience, it's a privacy violation. Florida's broad public records laws could allow someone to deduce who is a medical patient, and they make up about 35% of the recipients. The exposure could lead to unwanted marketing, political messages, or worse, employment discrimination, they say. Jody James, president of the nonprofit Florida Cannabis Action Network, stated in quotes, "My information should not be part of their general email blast list by any stretch of the imagination." Ironically, Governor DeSantis has been vocal against big tech, accusing companies of misusing personal information. And State Democratic Party Chair Nikki Fried, a former agricultural commissioner, called the action irresponsible. In a quote, she says, "I would have been scorched alive if I had done anything with that database to either release their information to another part of my agency or to have that used in the database for pushing the rest of the news or activities from the Department of Agriculture." A Pensacola medical marijuana patient plans to file a formal complaint stressing the seriousness of the issue, and says if it wasn't for that doctor that wrote out the private patient form link or other agenda, I feel somebody should be held accountable. Personal injury lawyer John Morgan, who led the state's 216 medical marijuana effort, questioned whether the email violated federal laws on the release of medical information, and he also pointed out the potential of political misuse of the email list, especially in the context of promoting adult use marijuana in the upcoming November election. In a quote, he says, "That would be the greatest list they could ever have for this election," Morgan said. Well, I don't think this is such a big deal that everyone's going all up in arms and all this hoopla about, but I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. I'm willing to bet that at least one of you thinks this is a major outcry, but I can't wait to hear. And this is Jason Beck for the High at 9 News Hour. What do y'all think about this email blast?
I mean, from a former medical professional view, I would say from the people whose personal medical information was attached to this, who have recommendations.
I don't believe anyone's personal information was attached to this.
Let me cook.
That's gaslighting.
Let me cook.
Go ahead, cook.
Let me cook.
I'm just adding some seasoning.
It's a list
with
names on it. And if you can delineate who is a medical patient and who is, not necessarily a true medical patient, then I think that could be an issue. But I also think that I smell maybe a class action lawsuit, because just like every time T-Mobile and any other company has leaked out your personal data, they don't have a right to just spam you with political information just because you're on a list for your own medical benefit to obtain a substance that you need to live your life in a healthy manner. I don't think it's a huge deal. I mean, there are bigger problems, but
I think there's a question that should be asked. Was this sent out by his campaign, or was it sent out by an official government office? I think that's one question.
To me, how it sounds to me, it sounds like the emails that we get here in California from the DCC when they're like, "Hey, we just recalled this product, or we just had this policy update," or anything around that in regards to is my thought.
It sounded like a political email to me. I would just say, I think it's funny how they were first accused of misusing medical patients' emails, and their answer was like, "Oh no, it's okay." We sent it out to 2 million people. It wasn't just you. Like, I don't think that's a very good answer.
I think that's part of the thing is that they're using the database of people that have signed up for notifications from that department. And that's why there's so many press agents on there.
But are they using it for a departmental purpose, or are they using it for a political campaign? I think that's a very important question.
I think that's all based on your perception.
I kind of tend to agree with some.
No, it's not. No, it's absolutely. It's a black and white issue. It's whether it's being sent from a MailChimp account or whether it's being sent as a part of the public advisory system. Those are two very separate things. Is it being sent from a Ron DeSantis for re-election owned email account or not? Like that. I'm not
buying that it was sent from Ron DeSantis for governor email campaign. I'm not buying anything like that.
Okay. I mean, I'm not buying that it's not. I'm not buying that it is either. At this point, we don't know.
How this all sounds to me, it sounded like they inserted this wording into the government emailer that sends out, that notifies patients about whatever is going on within the Florida program. And to me, I think that I don't really see a big problem with what they did.
Can we find a copy of this email? Is that possible? Has anybody seen it? Because I think that
somebody send it to us if you got it.
Yeah, someone out there in the great free state of Florida, send us over this email so we can take a look at it.
Free state.
Yeah.
That's rich.
Yes. That's right.
I don't think it really matters. I don't think it really matters because I think they'll spin it either way. And I think Ron DeSantis is finally putting to good use those dollars that he raised during the presidential campaign. They never got to that have been just like looming, just sitting in a bank account. So big shout out to them for spamming the shit out of people, and I hope they get caught.
I think some of the hemp bros, Rico, need to come out and back Governor DeSantis on this one.
Okay, so I actually found some more information on this, and the email actually praised the cancer research program promoted by First Lady Casey DeSantis.
We mentioned that in the thing.
So, like, I don't think that's. If we're going to talk about research and things that are being done, if I agreed as a Florida medical patient to get program updates, that's why you have to be so specific when you opt into notifications from things, because you can't just, if I say, yes, Jason Beck, send me what's going on with High at 9 News, and I agree to get those news blasts, and then you send me, by the way, Jason Beck needs $65,000 for XYZ project. That is not what I agreed to be spammed with. So, you know what I mean? Like,
unsubscribe.
I think that's a problem. Unsubscribe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
I don't think they asked for any money. I don't think there was any.
Go ahead,
Rick.
Be on the hook for a TCPA violation, Telecommunication Protection Act.
I think that's a stretch, but I mean,
look, maybe nobody needs a compensation for this misuse of their email, but we can agree that it's possible that they misused people's emails to send them information about things that were political in nature or just were not opted into. Like, they can both be true.
Fair, not mutually exclusive.
Lead them dry.